Oh yeah, GM, my little chickadees. I hope you're having a great winter holiday season, winter festivus. Times are getting a little heated here in crypto as we're going to hell in a one-horse open sleigh. If you can see behind me, the heat map's looking a little red. Hey, but it is a little green too, and those are the colors of the season. All right, maybe need to cut most of that out because I'm kind of just rambling. But my new show called The Unpriced Risk, where we're going to be talking about some things occurring in crypto and the greater economic world that could be affecting your bags and likely will be in the next coming months. So let's start off with number one, this AAVE governance proposal. That's AAVE, and I'm not talking about African American vernacular English. I'm talking about the famous lending protocol, AAVE. So here's the key headline for you. AAVE token holders are right now debating a governance proposal to formally transfer ownership of AAVE brand assets, meaning domains, social handles, trademarks, all that stuff, to the DAO itself. This is happening in light of the recent Axelar news, where Axelar's team was recently acquired by Circle and causing the token to tank, because when they acquired the team, they weren't acquiring the token or the holders. Now, obviously, AAVE is seeming to try to mitigate this risk that is now starting to crop up in the industry, where we're going to start seeing teams getting poached, products left to die as they build their own products in-house for companies like Circle, JP Morgan, whoever. So anyway, back to AAVE. AAVE obviously doesn't want to have that happen. They don't want the token to fall apart. They don't want to leave the team. They don't want the team to leave the product derelict, adrift at sea, okay? This isn't about code or treasury. It's about who controls the AAVE name and communication window in the ecosystem. Currently, service providers like AAVE Labs or other entities effectively hold brand assets, even though the DAO funded and paid for them. The proposal argues that leaving these assets under third-party stewardship is a decentralization risk because it creates a hidden, centralized point of influence. Kind of like what I'm talking, where the team at Axelar was the centralized point of influence. If you could just pull them out, you kind of just get the whole shebang for not for free, but you don't get any of the baggage of the tokens or its holders. So supporters say bringing these assets under DAO control would align incentives and protect the long-term integrity of the protocol. So in my opinion, this is a real example of DeFi governance alignment issues taking form, right? It's not about price action. It's about token holder versus service provider, like actual systemic risk implications, brand capture, governance drag. So it brings to mind a little bit of the conversations I see happening in the Sonic ecosystem over and over again. Like who really owns the Sonic brand? Who owns the Sonic identity? Who has actual control over this or that? Settling this clearly through governance, I think, is a wise move. AAVE has always kind of been the, what would you say, the golden child, the poster boy for governance, decentralized governance. They're DAO, working wonders. Yeah, so basically, this is a really interesting story because it is going to set the tone. It's kind of, like I said, in response to Axelar. We're seeing entities that want to remain decentralized needing to make an effort now to actually shore up their defenses against centralized capture. There's going to be lots of angles to approach this from, and I'm going to be happy to dive into it a little bit more here over the Christmas season and maybe going into the new year, because I think this is going to be setting the tone for the next year. We're going to see a lot of decentralized entities trying to protect themselves from centralized capture, like I said, and we're going to see them trying to maintain decentralized control, right? We want to maintain the crypto ethos going forward. We don't want to just sell out to the big guys. Our next point we're going to talk about here is this Coinbase announcement. Coinbase bringing an alleged scammer to justice. So I was kind of ragging on Axelar a little bit earlier, talking about the centralized capture of decentralized institutions, but this is kind of an example of how centralization can kind of benefit the small guys. Coinbase recently posted about cooperating with law enforcement to support the arrest and prosecution of an alleged crypto scammer who was targeting users by impersonating Coinbase staff. The scammer used phone spoofing and impersonation to tell victims they needed to move funds to a safe wallet, a tactic Coinbase says they will never do. They never want you to use a safe wallet at Coinbase. They want to use theirs. This falls under broader warnings to users. Never trust a caller ID, sender names, lookalike domains, or pressure to move funds. It's almost always a scam. I got to speak to some personal experience. If anyone's ever telling you to hurry up and move the funds, that's a scam, dude. Don't let them pressure you, okay? Coinbase's consumer protection guidance explicitly lists they will never ask for seed phrases or transfers for safety. So this is really cool because real law enforcement action in the real world does kind of make our whole space feel a lot safer for people. We're still a long ways away from capturing every Tom, Dick, and Andy out of North Korea who's scamming you. But we're moving in the right direction. Now, the question still is, in the general sense, is this worth the trade-off? Is this worth this extra security for the Coinbase getting more of its fingers into our business? Time will tell, and we can discuss this going forward. So there's a screenshot circulating around here where Tom Lee's 7,000 December target is now $1,800 next year. He's calling for a huge pullback in equities and crypto, saying crypto is going to perform the worst. This is Tom Lee's official outlook according to leaked documents that have been posted to Reddit. This could be doctored. Who knows? Despite my view that BTC, and I'm quoting here, despite my view that BTC and crypto face powerful long-term tailwinds and that liquidity-driven support should emerge in 2026, there are several risks we will likely need to clear in Q1, Q2 that create more attractive entry points. My base case is a meaningful drawdown in 2026 with Bitcoin falling to 60 to 65K, ETH to 1,800 to 2,000, and SOL to 50 to 75. These levels will present attractive opportunities into year-end. If this view proves correct, I still prefer to pay defense and wait for the confirmation of strength. So it's showing that he kind of believes that prices are going to go down, but as we've been covering in recent episodes, it's not stopping his spending spree. He's buying all the way down. Bro isn't trying to catch the knife. He's jabbing it. I don't know what you would call it. He's not trying to catch the knife. He's just buying. He's just buying nonstop. He's just chucking $1 billion every week, it feels like, into Ethereum. So he's not really putting his money where his mouth is if this is an actual leak of their strategy. Which I was not able to find any confirmation. It's kind of fitting the negative vibes we're feeling here, right? I'm like I started off the show, we're going to hell, it feels like, dude. It's not a good winter. It feels like we're all getting coal in our stockings. Worse, we're getting altcoins in our stockings because they feel worthless right now. But, you know, I'm still positive. I'm still thinking things are going to turn around here going into 2026, despite what Tom Lee's saying here. I'm expecting a little bit more pain, but hopefully things turn around. But until then, it's been me, Corval, catching you up with a quick minute of news on what's been happening in crypto, and stay tuned for more. I'll catch you guys next time, and happy holidays. Thanks.